Here's why hot girls are no harder to get than the average girl next door. Watch this video and I'm gonna tell you why. So 2018, 2019 is kind of like my single golden years where I was just going out and out and out every single night for as much as I could, stay busy. I've been on a lot of dates with all different type of women. And one date in particular, I don't even remember this girl's name. I remember, she had like blondish red hair. She showed up, you could kind of tell it's a little bit on the liberal side, which, I got nothing against. It's not necessarily my exact cup of tea, but it's cool, And, we hung out, we met. She seemed attractive enough. It wouldn't, cause me to throw up at the thought of, hooking up with her or something like that. Conversation, it flowed and everything was there, but it wasn't spectacular. I don't even remember this girl's name. I went in for the kiss on the end of the date just out of practice, right? You should always go for the kiss at the end of the date. And it just wasn't that spectacular of a date. Now, what's funny here is that, I kissed her. It was okay. We both went home. She never texted me again. I never texted her again. And the whole point of the story is that this chick is like maybe, high 6s or a 7 at best. And she wasn't into me. And I've had plenty of dates because, by the time you go out a lot, you're going to have plenty of dates where the girl, you weren't, when you showed up, you weren't quite exactly the cup of tea she was hoping for, okay? It's going to happen to everybody if you go out enough. And so I've had other dates where the girl shows up, she looks good. She's not like a spoken 10, but you can see on her face, she's like, okay, I'm not into this guy. Now, conversely, when I met my wife, okay, by this time, I'd spent a year and a half of going out all the time. The date was a huge success, right? Because I was in practice, I was loose, I was in a good place, okay? But the thing that made the date really, really well was that we had a high level of interest in each other, okay? Now, my wife, in my eyes, is an absolute 10. She's petite, she's been a CrossFit coach, she's a jiu-jitsu competitor and athlete, she's in really, really good shape, she's cute, like the whole 9 yards. And when we met, she came home with me right away. The whole night was perfect. And ever since then, it's been a nonstop, progression in our relationship. And so if a 7 can take it or leave it with me, and then my wife's a 10, and she wants to relationship me up and stay with me for years, you can see how there's absolutely zero correlation between how hot a girl is and her interest level is. Now, what makes this really, really tricky and what makes hotter girls seem harder to get is the fact that when you think a girl is really hot, your behavior, and this is the key, your behavior is altered now because you realize something's at stake. So with that hot girl, you want her approval, you want her validation, you want her attention, you want her to smile at you, you want sex, you want something, and now all of a sudden, because you need something from her, you're gonna act differently. But in these cases, it's your behavior that makes the girl hard to get. She gets repulsed by that feeling of neediness, okay? And that's the thing that makes her harder to get. And the thing that drives this point home is that as a man, if you can drum up abundance for yourself, you start to act less and less needy in your interactions with women, no matter how hot they are, right? And then you can really start to see the truth of the situation, which is that, leagues don't exist. They just don't exist. People have biological preferences that they're looking for, like you have a body type, I have a body type, right? And that's true. That exists. Probably, of all the women in the world, you're probably just going to fall into like 10% of their archetype in terms of what that woman is looking for. So it is a numbers game, so you have to find that 10%, okay? But there's zero correlation to how interested a woman would be in you and how hot she is. So the name of the game here is not neediness. Date a bunch of women and don't need too much in any one direction. The one hot girl that will talk to you, it's like, no, dude, get out there and talk to more hot girls so you don't need that hot girl so much. And the other half of it is just play that numbers game because, again, you're only going to fall into like 10% of women, right? So if do you want that 10% to be the one girl out of, 10 that you talk to? Or would you rather go out and talk to like 50 girls and then have 5 girls that are chasing after you? Imagine the difference in quality of life and your daily experience between having one girl in the mix and 5. Now, if you like what you heard in this video and you'd like to meet me in person, I'm actually hosting an event January 14th. And what I'm doing is I'm having 3 people fly out to Atlanta where they can meet up with me. I'm going to take over their dating app for a day. You're going to hand me your phone. I'm just going to be blasting out messages and starting long conversations for you so that way you can start to get into abundance. Okay, so if you want to meet me, if you want to have mastery in your dating apps, in your online dating life. Okay, click on my profile right here, click on the link in my profile, and sign up for the Freaky Saturday event. And I'd love to see you in Atlanta, January 14th.